Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all in your computer science class. Today we are going to study about IPO cycle and measuring memory. But before that, let us revise what we have studied in previous class. In previous class, I have taught you what is a computer and generations of computer. Children, now you can tell me what is a computer, right? A computer is a programmable electronic device which accepts raw data, process it with set of instructions and then gives output. And second topic which we covered in last class, generations of computer. Now you must know that we have total 5 generations of computer. In first generation, we used vacuum tubes for performing mathematical and logical operations. In second generation, instead of vacuum tubes, children, what did we use? Transistors, right. And then in third generation, what did we do with those transistors? We assembled them on a IC. Okay. And in fourth generation, what did we do? We assembled those ICs on microprocessors. And in fifth generation, which scientists are working on, they are using artificial intelligence. Okay. These are 5 generations of computer, which we have studied in last class. Now today I'll be telling you about IPO cycle and measuring memory. Let's begin with IPO cycle. Children, do you know what is IPO cycle? You must have studied about it in your previous classes. Yes or no? If you can't remember, if you can't recall it, no worries, I'll tell you. What is IPO cycle? IPO stands for input process output. Okay? If I'll talk about the definition, here it is. IPO refer to input, output and process. It is the information processing cycle in which the user enters an input which is processed to produce an output. Alright, now I'll explain you what is it. Look at these yellow circles. First, input is going to processing unit. That means you are sending your data through input devices to processing unit. Now, can you see this storage underneath processing? Why is it for children? Can you guess it? I'll tell you. In every processing unit, there is a storage device as well. And why is it for children? Because the set of instructions which a processing unit needs to perform, those instructions will be stored in storage device. Now children, here also a different case. In storage device there are two types of memory, RAM and ROM. You have heard these terms, right? In RAM, the instructions which processing unit is performing will be stored temporary. Okay, those instructions will be stored in storage device temporary, and in ROM some data you can store there permanently. Okay, after storing these set of instructions or after performing these set of instructions, the final result will be sent to the output device. What happened, children? Got confused? No worries. Let's understand it in this way. Imagine I want to make orange juice. Then what will be the IPO cycle of making orange juice? Yes, children, you heard me right. IPO cycle of making orange juice. I'll tell you. For making orange juice, what should we have? Obviously, oranges, right? Then, what we'll do? We'll grind them. Then, what we'll have are yum, a glass of juice. So here, what did we do? We took oranges as input. Afterwards, we grind them. This grinding is called a process. And at last, we had a glass of juice. That is our output. So here what do we have? Input, process, output. On the same function, computer works. After that example, now I think you can explain this chart, right? Input, process, output cycle. See, here if we talk about computer and input, we use keyboard, mouse, camera and microphone. As input, what can we use? What devices we can use? Keyboard, mouse, camera and microphone. Now, CPU. Obviously, we'll send our data to whom? To CPU. In CPU, you will find ALU and CU and registers. ALU stands for arithmetic and logical unit. Okay. CU stands for control unit and registers. And underneath that, you will find memory for storing purpose. Now, ALU, what does it do? It performs set of instructions. It performs logical and mathematical operation. Then what does control unit do? It controls the sequence of set of instructions. Now, what for registers? Registers are for fast memory. In this, you can store the value of calculation, like whatever calculation you are doing, the values of those calculation you can store in registers. Okay. Now, what about memory? In memory, RAM, you can store those set of instructions for temporary, for short time. Okay, and now after performing all these instructions, after doing all the calculations, the final result you will send to whom? To output devices. And in output devices, we can see monitor, speaker, printer. Like there you will see your final result. There you can read your final result. There you can listen your final result. So basically your final results will be called as output, which you can see, read or listen on monitor, speaker and printer. So now let's move on to next topic, measuring units of computer memory. Before that, children, can you explain what is the meaning of measures? See, if I'll give you an example, we measure liquid in liters. Why? Why are we measuring that? So that we can have an idea like what amount we are having. Like if I say that I can drink 1 liter in a day, it is acceptable. But if I'm saying that I can drink only 200 milliliter in a day, then you will say it is less in amount, right? So that measuring unit is giving us an idea like what amount are we talking about. The same thing is for computer memory. The measuring units are giving us an idea like what amount of data we are storing in devices. The smallest unit of computer memory is bit. Then byte is greater than that, then kilobyte, then megabyte, then gigabyte, terabyte and so on. We'll discuss it further. Before that, let me tell you children what is the meaning of bit. Why are we taking it as the smallest unit of computer memory? See children, the easiest example if I'll give you for that, imagine a button, a switch of light. If we are putting it on, it will be considered as 1. And if we are putting it off, it will be considered as 0. Now you may say, ma'am, why are you telling us like this? 0, 1. See children, the characters, the alphabets, everything you are typing on keyboard, right? Computer does not understand that. Computer understands high level language, or we can say computer understands 0 or 1 language, also called binary code. which means computer understands only 0 or 1, and it is called bit. Either it can be 0 or 1. And to press one character, it takes 8 bit, and 8 bit will be equals to 1 byte, which means if you are pressing a single character in computer, it is storing 8 bit space or 1 byte space. These are some binary digit codes, also called ASCII codes. I know it is a bit confusing, right, for you. See, if we are typing A on keyboard, what computer is taking? 01000001. Okay, here on keyboard you are typing A, but internal in computer it is taking as 010001. If you are pressing B, then what is it taking? 0 1 4 times 0 1 0. So this is how I can explain you, like you are pressing here alphabets, hashtags, at the rate, special characters and all. But internally computer is taking only 0 or 1. And one character takes 8 bit. See here 0, if we are talking about A, 0 1 0 0 0 0 1. Total 8 bits they are taking for storage. Alright children, understood? So these are binary codes for alphabets. Now I think you have understood what is bit and what is byte. 1 byte is equals to 8 bit. And children, we are not storing only alphabets in it, right? We stores a lot of data, right, in documents, in the form of documents, in the form of movies, in the form of musics. So obviously bit and bytes are not enough for measuring. That is why we have many other measuring units which are greater than bits and bytes. In this I'm going to tell you. See, units of computer memory measurements. First is bit. Bit is the smallest unit, and which is 0 or 1. Okay, 1 bit is equals to binary digit. Then 8 bits is equal to 1 byte, which I have told you earlier. Then 1024 bytes will be equal to 1 kilobyte. Like when in computer there will be total 1024 bytes, children. Do not get confused here between bit and byte. When computer will store total 1024 bytes, it will be called as 1 kilobyte. Then 1024 kilobyte is equals to 1 megabyte. Like if computer is storing 1024 kilobyte, it will be called as 1 MB, 1 MB data. Then next 1024 megabytes if computer is storing in its storage device, it will be called as 1 gigabytes, 1 GB. Then 1024 GB will be equal to 1 terabyte. Same, then 1024 terabyte will be equal to 1 petabyte. Then 1024 PB is equals to 1 exabyte. Then 1024 EB will be equal to 1 zettabyte. Then 1024 ZB is equals to 1 yottabyte. Then 1024 YB is equals to 1 brontobyte. Then finally 1024 brontobyte will be equal to 1 GOP byte. It is the highest memory unit. For now, iske aage nothing is that. Okay, 1 GOP byte is the highest unit of memory and 1 bit is the smallest unit. Okay children, so this is all about IPO cycle and measuring memory. IPO cycle stands for input, process, output, and measuring memory, the simple thing, what is the smallest unit? Bit. Okay, and the highest memory unit? Brontobyte. Now I'll show you copy work which you need to do in your rough copy, children. Need not to touch your fair copy for now. Just do this work in your rough copy for your practice. Here I am finishing today's class. If you have any kind of doubt, you can ask in doubt class. Okay, children. Thank you.